Hello, everyone. Welcome to Back to Stupid Questions. I'm Tatiana reporting live from Barcelona.
And I'm Denise reporting live from Lyon.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you haven't already caught up on our latest episode, please do so. It was on street harassment. Denise and I shared some heartfelt stories about our experience with street harassment. It's on Apple, on Stitcher, and on SoundCloud. So just check that out, guys. And because we're getting closer to the Christmas season, it is my absolute favorite holiday. And not just because it's my birthday, it's just I love binge watching those movies. You know me, like it's just something I love doing. And here in Barcelona, they started putting up the lights, like the Christmas lights, like 3 weeks ago.
That's insane.
I know everything is just pushing me to embrace that Christmas season, so I am just embracing it. So we picked a hard lighted topic to talk about, and it's friendship between opposite sexes. So Denise, when you hear platonic friendship between opposite sexes, what do you think about? Like, what's your first thought?
I just think friendship between me and you, but like instead of you, it's gonna be a guy. That's it.
Okay, so between you and a guy.
Yeah, just exchange you with a guy, and that's like friendship. I don't think anything complicated. Just simple, plain friendship, basically.
What do you mean by plain?
I mean like just like friendship without anything romantic involved in it. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Because we would be surprised at the amount of people who don't know what platonic friendship is.
Oh, true.
You told me that.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to make sure that this is out there. So
True.
a platonic friendship or relationship is a type of close relationship that is non-romantic, and it was named after the philosopher Plato. He actually did not use it. It was just named after him because of his philosophy. So anything that does not involve any lust, love, any of this kind of feelings, that's a platonic friendship. So Denise, I just want to ask you, have you ever actually been in a have you ever been in a situation where you thought you were trying to push this guy? I mean, I would say platonic friendship is kind of similar to like friend zoning somebody, no? Because if you just want to be friends with a person, you're friend zoning him if they're hitting on you, or if they're trying to get something more, you're kind of like friend zoning him.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if there's like a difference.
I see what you mean. I mean, depending on the case, because like you can be in a platonic friendship with someone and the person can be in some other type of friendship with you. So answering to your question, yes, I have been in that situation, unfortunately.
How do you do that? How do you like? Have you ever been in a situation where a guy was actually interested in more than just a friendship and you just wanted a friendship? How did you deal with that?
My God. So
it's not an easy question, is it?
That's quite a question. So basically, yeah, I actually think of this one guy that I am friends with. So I'm gonna call him X.
So this is current.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him X. He's probably gonna
Mr.
watch
X.
it. Hey. So basically I've been friends with this guy since the summer. And to me, we are like friends. It's a platonic friendship. Like, we will hang out together, just talk about life. I actually see the person as a really good friend of mine because, like, the person talks to me and we talk and, like, we gossip about life and stuff. Like, it's a guy. But the guy started giving me, like, some weird tendencies. Like, he will always call me all the time. Like, he will always call me.
Like best friends do, like,
Yeah, friends do that.
Besties.
That's where it goes. But like once, we went out and we were drunk, because that's usually how it goes. Like that's usually when they confess.
Alcohol is your nemesis.
There you go. So we went out and he was like, I really, really like you. I see myself dating a girl just like you. I was like, oh, well, that's nice,
That's nice.
Because no, be careful, because like he said it to me, but he did not really say, oh, I like you. He was just like, I see myself dating a girl like you because I like the way you are.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And then he goes ahead and says stuff like, oh, I can talk to you, and like I don't talk to anybody else the way I talk to you. I give like all my secrets. I don't usually talk to people that much, but with you I feel so comfortable. I go out with you, like all my stories and everything, so I feel so close to you. And that's how I started understanding that the guy because he said that so many times, so many times. Every time we were drunk together, he would always say that to me. Or
Oh
even
my
when we had like
gosh.
regular conversations, he would just,
Yeah, he does not just want to be friends with you, man. Like from what you're describing, it
yeah.
is he is not seeking a platonic friendship at all.
Yeah, see? So how did
He
I
wants to date you.
I know. So it's really annoying because like I feel the way I dealt with it at first I was like this is really not fair because like I saw that guy. Well, I still see the guy as like just just a friend, and so I try to make sure like I try to let him know that I wasn't really seeing him like that. So when he
How?
will. How okay so whenever he would say things like that to me I'll just be like oh thank you like I'm not gonna be like oh me too I see you nah I'm just gonna be like oh thank you thanks so how's it go with
Appreciate
the
it.
girls you've been seeing like so I always try to go
Oh,
there because I know he
that
yeah, I
swerve,
always go
man.
there. I'm always like, also, what happened with I don't know with Lisa the other day? I know Lisa came to your place. Like, how did things go? Did you guys like hook up? Like, I don't know. Like, I just try to like divert the conversation to someone else,
Yeah, to
to some
something
other
else.
girl. So that's what I usually do. But in because he's really smart. So, but in a way, he's always gonna go back to me and just like, oh yeah, see, I like the way you think and stuff like that. Like everything I would say,
Wow.
he's gonna be like, oh, I love how you think, like your values, and I'm just like, oh my
He's a
god, thank you so
professional.
much. But one day he actually said it directly. He was like honestly, if I if things didn't just start the way they started, like I would honestly like to like date you and everything. And I was just like I didn't know how to take it because like I was just like oh well I just see you like as a friend like I really only see you as a friend. And
Yeah.
then he went ahead and he was like oh you never know that's how like things usually start. It can start as just friendship. Yeah.
This is such a good statement. I want you to remember that. The
Yeah.
fact that he said that you never know things like that start as friendship because I'll bring something out after
Okay.
that.
All right. So he was like, you never know. Things usually start as friendship, and you never know. It might go somewhere else. I was like, okay, let me just stop you right there. I was just like, because it's really hard to just say things like directly when it's your friend and it's someone you actually like and
Yeah,
care
and you don't
about.
want to
Not
hurt their
like that.
feelings.
Just like as like a friend. I
Yeah,
was just like, okay,
as a human
like I have
friend.
a type of guy that I like. Like I don't have a precise type, but there's like some sort of like preference that I
Some kind of
have.
like
I have some sort of
list
like a
of
preference
category, like
category, yeah.
list of characteristics that fit
Yeah,
into a
that's
certain box.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I try to let him know. I was like, I really appreciate you. Like, you're a good friend and everything, but like, I don't usually go for you. But like me trying to be nice about it, like he just saw it as being like, oh, maybe she doesn't know. It might change. I try to
Oh
be
my
very like
gosh.
clear, but still like not mean. And I was always like, oh, by the way, this other guy that I was talking to the other, so I will always try to like talk about the guy that I'm talking to right now, or like the guy that I like right now.
And so you've talked to him about other of your relations that are currently going on
Yeah,
in a relationship or a guy that you're seeing,
yeah.
and he still doesn't get it. He
No,
still just won't accept the fact that.
he does not accept the fact because to him we are so special together that every time I tell him about a guy, he's always gonna be like, oh, but you shouldn't focus on that. Like he'll always wait for like some negative story about the guy to be like, oh, you don't need to focus on that guy, whatever. Like me and you are so
Mm.
similar, stuff like that, like, and I'm
Oh
just
wow.
like how can I let this guy? Because I've tried to be like, no, I don't really like you like that. I like this guy though. I find him really hot. Like this guy is my type. Like sometimes I'll even go ahead and show him pictures. Like, oh my god, this guy just sent me this picture. He's so cute, and he's gonna be like, oh
You
yeah,
show him
he's gonna be
pictures.
like. Oh yeah. He's a cute guy. Yeah, he's a cute guy. But you need to be careful. That type of guy, you need to be careful. That type of guy. They do stuff like this and that. And then I'm just
Yeah,
like,
like brushing it off and
yeah.
warning you about all the guys. So what is it? Why does he think he's so different from the other guys? I don't get
I
it.
don't
I really don't
know.
get
He
it.
just thinks since we are like friends, we already have that trust, and so he can do better than any other guy that I found attractive, and
Yeah.
that our relationship is gonna go beyond the whole like physical part of it. And
I
once
get it.
I was really frustrated because once I was really pissed, so I was just like, hey, dude, you always talk about this whole thing. Like, I don't really find you attractive like that, and let's
Oh
say you
wow.
think that's gonna work. I'm sorry. Okay, I said it was kind of weird and kind of mean. I was like, I'm gonna cheat on you. Like, you're not my type. I said it to him. Like, if I date you
Oh.
just because you're not my type, it's gonna happen. Just because I wanted to be like, sorry, I just wanted to
Yeah,
be
just
like,
because you wanted to just put the facts there and then
exactly.
make sure
Even though
that he gets the message and
that's
he
not
didn't
me.
get
But I
it.
was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, what can I
No,
tell
I
you?
mean, I think on his side, you're just gonna have to put some I don't know, distance, I guess. I think distance is the key to this,
Yeah.
and to see how it goes. And good luck on your journey with
Good
him,
luck. Oh, I
because
need that love, man. I
there's
do.
there's nothing I can say here. But I really want to come back to the fact that you said that he says, oh, because of the friendship, some things are going to change. Because what I wanted to focus on is basically, we've been exposed to like a large variety of like Hollywood movies, especially like rom coms, and they have these specific genres in like rom coms where it's
Oh,
always about best friend falls in love, like best friends always fall in love. So I'm just thinking, isn't it maybe because we've seen so many of those movies? Like, for example, we have Love and Basketball, Waiting Forever, The Holiday Calendar. This is a Christmas movie. It came out last year, and I loved it. And when Sally met Sally. When Harry Met Sally, sorry, this is a classic, and he's just not that into you. This one I also watched. So I'm just thinking, we've been influenced, we've been exposed to this like variety of like movies where they always show that, friendship, like love always like flourishes from like friendships. So isn't it maybe why people always think that, if we are friends, it will eventually lead to a potential friendship? Isn't it why when you're trying to like shut down a certain relationship with a guy, you're telling him, listen, I just want us to be friends? Because we've been always exposed to this like culture, the cinematic culture, that this genre, this is how it happens, and we embrace it. So we start thinking like this could also be our reality, because if we worked in that movie, we always copy what we see in movies. You see what I mean?
true, true.
And we always go like, even if it's for like superhero movies, whatever movie, we always think, oh, it's based on life,
Oh, yeah,
or
it's
or
based on
so
life.
exactly. So we
Yeah.
always think that we seem to think like, because this happened there, we're gonna copy it and then apply it to our own situation.
I
So
think I think it's
yeah.
actually very tricky because the way I see it, a lot of like that's true. I think it's true that a lot of relationships start from friendships. A lot of
Yeah.
relationships do, but I also think it depends on the person. Some people are open to the thing like, okay, we can be friends here, and like who knows what's gonna happen, but that's only if you have some sort of attraction, physical attraction to the person at
Yeah, of
first.
course, physical
That can
attraction
that
plays
can
a
happen.
major role in this.
Yeah. And for some weird reason it's always one-sided at first, I don't know, and sometimes it can like turn into like something where they actually like each other. But for me, I
Yeah.
can only talk for myself, honestly, and I'm the type
Yeah.
of person, I'm very direct with my feelings. If I like you, I like you. If I want to be just friends with you and I let you know that, I mean what I'm saying. I never like that, and that's I'm speaking for myself from like my past experiences. When I've liked someone or dated someone, it's always been from the go.
Yeah.
Always, always, always. I don't do the
The
oh
whole.
we can be friends and then nah,
Yeah.
doesn't work for me.
I
Well,
have to
I
agree
don't
with
do
that.
that.
I have to agree with that. I think for
Yeah.
me it's been the same. I've never like seen someone who we were friends with and then it flourished into something
Mm,
else. Like if I've
mm,
if I've been attracted to you and we're mutually attracted to each other, then it happened then. But then for me, the friends
mm.
thing, it just doesn't work out. We got feedbacks from people that we asked questions about what they thoughts was on this friends opposites platonic friendship platonic friendship between men and women, if it were possible or not. And this was their opinion.
While men and women can be friends, it is difficult for the relationship to be entirely platonic because our genetics simply drive our attraction to the opposite sex. So the likelihood that at least one party is drawn the other sexually is very high. And another reason I think that men and women often think they are nothing but friends, but when in reality one person's mind on the other is thinking more, I think they may never show this information with their friend, but there's always that feeling that one of this day we are going to get a little tipsy and make out.
Yeah, nah, I get it. So should we play the listen to the other ones?
I think that a male and a female are able to be friends. However, I don't think that it always works or lasts, just because either one of them confuses the actual friendship with something else, or over time, one of them starts catching feelings. My opinion, I don't think that there's like any tip or advice or secret ingredients regarding trying to make a platonic friendship work with the opposite sex. maybe being distant with that person, like still be their friend, still hang out with them, but not too much, too often. Don't always talk to them. Don't always hang around with them. Don't have that opposite sex as your best friend. I feel like when they start having that person as a best friend is most likely when they start catching feelings. So maybe distance and not being too close to that person, or maybe already having a sexual relationship with them before can actually help your platonic friendship work in the future. I mean, that's my opinion. I honestly, this is a really hard question because it can happen no matter if you're distant or not. You know, people just never know.
I think the main key to have a platonic relationship with the opposite sex is to basically know that you aren't attracted to them or see them that way, and see them more as a brother or a sister type kind of love. I grew up with just girls, and I feel like I just got along better with guys. They were just easier for me to talk to, so that's why most of my friends are guys, even though I'm in a relationship with a guy. But most of them I don't find attractive, and I could never see myself with them. No offense, just love in a different type of way. It's more of like a brotherly sister kind of thing. And I'm just so happy that my boyfriend understands that my guy friends are just literally my guy friends. I believe that platonic relationship can definitely work. I'm currently with the same man for almost 7 years, and I still have many guy friends that I have outside the relationship. I think it's healthy for both my boyfriend and I to have friends of the opposite sex. Sometimes you want to talk to someone who can see a different point of view, especially when you're in an argument with your significant other. It's good to have friends of the opposite sex to help you understand your significant other. But I do know a lot of people struggle with having a platonic relationship because it gets hard because someone always ends up falling for someone. And then the friendship kind of gets weird and it gets awkward for the other person who doesn't feel the same way for the other person. And this recently happened to my friend not too long ago, where her guy friend of 5 years professed his love and she's already engaged. Like, it just made the friendship awkward, and it's definitely weirder now for her.
Gosh.
But she values her friendship, so she's trying to salvage what she can.
Wow.
That is tough. The last one
That's
is like,
tough.
wow.
That's
She's
wow.
engaged. Like, why would you do that? I mean, yes,
No,
maybe
no,
you're,
that's
maybe
no,
you're thinking,
that's so
oh, it's now or
selfish.
never. But honestly,
Nah,
if
man,
you're
that's
a true
selfish.
friend
That's
and you
not.
really want to salvage that friendship, you would just let your person be engaged. And especially if she's happy, you should not have the right to. This is my point of view. I would
Yeah.
not appreciate that from a friend's point of view to do that to me. If I'm in a
I'll be
relationship,
so
engaged, and you
disappointed.
come to tell me, profess your love to me, I'll be.
See, then again, I'm thinking about the whole movie thing you talked about. This guy probably thinks he's in a damn movie. Like he's in a movie.
Which
I'm
is
sorry,
what
like,
is it?
why would you
It's called
do
My
this?
Best Friend's Wedding. I think it's the guy from Grey's Anatomy that was in there, and I think this is how it goes or something. Anyways, we've got
That's just insane.
so many rom-coms that follow that that
See?
sort of plot. So yeah, it's like
Life
a
is not a
movie, man.
movie,
Like if
guys.
she's engaged, you just
No,
come
it's
and then the
not.
last thing you're like, oh. You know those cheesy scenes where you just
Yeah.
obviously I'm sure it didn't happen. It wasn't like that.
No.
But I also asked a few people on Facebook groups, and then I really hoped they would have given me some like more concise responses. But this girl actually agreed with one of your friends said, because she said, me and my friend co-host a podcast, and we're strictly just friends now, but I also took his virginity. Ha ha ha. This is exactly what she was saying. We also joke all the time, mostly about me, about us dating, but there's literally no feelings. We're always seeing other people. So I found that, like, when I read that, I was like, wow. A lot of people would just take that aspect, like the side where, like, have something with them, a physical thing with them first, and then move on to something else. I just don't see how
That's what
that
one
should
of my
happen.
friends said.
Yeah, even
Did you
this,
hear?
this is why I was
I
saying
don't
that she
understand
agreed.
it.
I don't understand. Like,
I don't
I
understand
think for
it
them
at
it's
all.
like, get it out of the way. So, but if you get it out of the way, you don't know what would happen by actually trying it out. You don't know if you could be addicted to that, or if you could like, it could potentially like, it just doesn't make sense. What do you mean get it out of the way?
To me, it's just weird because it's like you cross the boundary.
Yes.
You can't be doing that. It's either you guys are friends, either you are hooking up with a person. I don't know. Like, but then again, people are different. People think differently and see things differently. If that's what you think is right for you and your friendship or your relationship with the person, all right.
Yeah.
But me personally, I know it's not gonna work. So
some other people said, I think it's possible when there's no attraction and commonalities bring you together, i.e. at school, work, or goals. And then another woman said, yes, platonic relationships are possible, especially if one isn't attracted to the other or isn't considered a real prospect. Easy to keep feelings out of it when you feel nothing to begin with. It does make sense. I agree with that one. And I
gravitate to that one.
Yeah, and most of the people just talk about boundaries and setting limits and being respectful to each other, which I definitely believe is the foundation of a platonic friendship. You just have to set the rules from the beginning, but it isn't really easy. It really isn't easy because from a practical point of view, how do you apply that? Look at you. You've been trying to tell this guy, like, listen, you're not my type. We're not together. You've been giving him all these hints, dropping
all
them
the
hints,
signs,
him,
everything.
and he still
but
doesn't
some people
get
are
it.
just hard-headed.
And what do you think? Because one of your friends, she suggested distancing yourself sometimes. Would you think that for you it would work? You literally are not living in the same city anymore, and this is still happening.
I don't think it works in my case because I think the guy is really smart about it. And I think the way, because most of his relationships, from what I know, is started from friendships, basically, from what I discovered recently. So I think that's the way he works. He thinks that just give me a couple like months or like maybe a year.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe it's gonna work.
He's basically just nurturing, like preparing, like seasoning you before he puts you in the oven. It's like,
I think that's what's going on.
She ready.
I think that's what's going on. So but I've actually started like doing something different because you have to try different things to see what works depending on the person. So what I've been doing differently is instead of like whenever he calls me, because he'll text me like, oh, I have something urgent to talk about, and then I call him and it's always like some like random stories. So now I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna wait. So I said a lot about my little stories, Tatiana. So what do you think about the whole like platonic friendship between the opposite sex? What's your input on that?
Well, okay, before telling you about my personal input, I had this conversation back when I was at university with like a bunch of guys and we used to hang out with, and we were like, hey guys, do you think like you could be friends with just a girl? And they were all like so offstandish about it. They were just like, no, of course not. Like it seemed like I'd asked like some kind of like, I don't know, alienated question, like I don't know, like it was out of the universe. They were like, no, of course not. That's what my guy friends are for. And they were like, if they're friends with a girl, they always have some kind of like ulterior motive. Like I remember they were living with this girl in the flat, and obviously she had already slept with like one or two of the guys, and they were hanging out, but they were also like, oh, she became like this, friends with benefit with this other guy. She was in love with the dude was not in love with her, but he was like, oh, okay, if it can happen, why not? But he did not like her. He kept talking so much stuff about, he kept saying so many stuff about her behind her back, and I was just so baffled by this kind of like situation that they were living. So in their sense, maybe it was because they were immature at the time, but they did not see the reason why they should be friends with like a woman if it's not for sex or anything. But in my personal experience, I just think you should always set boundaries. Like I've had this experience with this guy I met like on Tinder, we never really met. It was like at the end I just knew something was not happening in there, because I don't know, I guess in the end he wasn't my type. Like I don't know, I just never was motivated to meet him or whatever. But then we ended up being like Instagram friends for some weird reason, and he would talk to me about his girlfriend or whatever. He would ask me questions, and then recently I just thought we were friends, okay. And then he was like, oh, I posted this thing, and he commented, and I was like, well, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm fine. He was like, oh, I broke up with my girlfriend. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. We were talking, and then he was like, oh, by the way, are you still in a relationship? And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen anything. And I was just like, you know what? Yes, I am. I'm just about to walk down the aisle. And he was like, oh, okay. And our conversation just stopped. Like, it just stopped. So in my head, I was just like, oh my gosh. So this guy just came and told me about his life or something. Was it just because he thought I was single, or because I felt sorry for the dude, and I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I thought we had passed that stage where we could just, like, acknowledge that we were just friends, but it seemed like, it was just in my head. But
no, it was definitely
for me, it's about boundaries.
It was definitely in your head, man. Because
how
did the relationship start?
Yeah, no, exactly. Again, rom-com movies, that's not my fault. It's those rom-com movies. I'm not even lying.
Exactly. And literally, to come back to your story, I'm sorry to cut you, Doug.
Yeah.
But to come back to your story with the guys from uni, I don't think it's I don't think it's being mature. Maybe a little bit, but I'm saying that because I know a lot of friends who are mature but still telling me like, hey, I got my guy friends for that. I don't think that a girl and a guy can be friends. I don't think it's a maturity thing. It just depends on people. Some guys just don't want to be friends with girls.
No, it is true. That is true.
So yeah.
And also, it's just, I guess it's just because there's no drama. It's just like girls who only have like guy friends. Maybe it's just also because, when you're friends with girls, there's just so much drama.
Girl, that's me.
No,
like literally.
I was gonna say,
a lot more guy friends, but like, it's just like, okay.
I've never had that much luck.
I don't want to sound weird, but I feel like it's easier for a girl to have a guy friend without thinking about.
Oh yeah.
It's easier. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's easier for us.
Yeah. To not have those ulterior motives or sexual thoughts or be attracted to the person.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with you. It's happened. This is, how you said you were able to have like guy friends. This is my whole story, my whole life. I've never been able to maintain a platonic friendship with a guy. Maybe once, but this has been my story. Me being nice has always been misunderstood, and I feel like whenever I am nice, remember this story where I told you about this guy? I was friends with him, and then he found that I moved in with my boyfriend. He was like, oh, I thought we were gonna be together, and I was like, I have never ever flirted with the guy. I've never done anything to make him think that I was the least interested in him. But somehow, me being nice was seen as something like I wanted something more, I guess. So it's difficult.
It's very frustrating. It's so frustrating. I don't understand it.
For me,
sometimes I don't know. Like I'll sit down and try to put myself in the guy's shoes, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I
wanna ask, like, before we close this topic, like, how do you think when you're in a relationship, for example, how does that affect your partner? Like, you're in a relationship, how would he perceive your relationship with another man?
Oh my god, this is actually weird because I've always had I've always been close to guys.
Yeah.
When I was in the US, for example, and I was dating someone, my best friend was my coworker, and it's weird because we will talk every morning before work and talk about like what was gonna be our day, and my boyfriend will always be like, he will understand it because he trusted me,
Yeah.
But he always be like, that's like your second boyfriend or something. You guys are like always talking. This is so weird. So I will always be on speaker so he knows that, hey, like we're just talking. It's just banter. Nothing.
You had to be on speaker though?
Yeah, I will talk to him on speaker.
Oh wow.
I just wanted things to be clear. I just like, hey, this is what we are talking about. But it can be really hard for a guy. You need to be able to trust your partner.
I think you just need to not be insecure as well.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That was going to be my second point. You need to not be insecure, because if you are insecure, you can go all Disney with your thoughts. Like you can be all like go crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, like
start
for real.
Imagining some scenarios when you're just sitting at a coffee. You guys are just drinking coffee and watching funny videos. It's what's happening? Which hotel you at? Like what?
Yeah.
What?
It's a lot of like, you need to. Man, yeah. I remember things that happened, and I was like,
my boyfriend, he has like, sorry to cut you off. My boyfriend, he has this girl, and he's friends with her. Like, I don't know, he doesn't live in, he's not from Spain, so the fact that we're both not from Spain, I don't have to deal with like exes. He doesn't have to deal with my exes. Like, there's nothing that we have, so it's like a neutral ground, so it's perfect.
That's cool.
But he has this friend that is a female, and she moved to Barcelona as well, and he kept calling her cousin, and I saw the girl one day, and I was like,
that's not your cousin.
How is she connected to you? He was like, oh, she's just a friend of a friend. I was like, why do you keep calling her cousin? I was like, why did you call this woman cousin? She is not your cousin. She is not related to you. And before we filmed this, I was like, honestly, how have you never been attracted to Lucy? Oh, sorry, I was just about to say her name. Have you never been attracted to her? He was like, no, honestly, no, she's just not my type. Yeah, she is pretty, but she's just not my type. So because I was really curious. I was like, but did you do you call her cousin, so you just, shut that away from you, so you don't think about her as anything else except for like your cousin? And it was just like, no, it's not, she's not my type. It's just we've never seen stuff like this. So for me, this was really, it was strange because I don't usually get that response, like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't see her that way. But no, he's just like, either you're my type or you're not my type. If you're not my type, I'm not gonna think of anything else. But
Yeah.
not everybody does that, so.
That just makes me think of like a story with one of my exes. Like his best friend was a
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
and I don't have issues with that.
Oh, I
but the
remember
girl,
this.
I think she liked him.
Yeah,
So, but he was
sneaky.
so naive to the whole situation. When
Yeah.
someone is just like, oh no,
And
no,
you
no,
have
I
to
don't
act all
see it.
crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, for real. Like she likes you. Every time I'm hanging out with you, she's always gonna try to make you choose. And I was always
Oh my
like,
gosh.
this is like, cause she knew him like way like since they were kids, so she'll always
Yeah.
try to like make him feel like, oh, so your new girlfriend, you're gonna choose her over me and stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
And I'll always be in that position like, this girl, like she's just
She's onto
possessive of the
him.
relationship or she likes you. And he's like, nah, it's just like nah. Every time I date a girl, she always does it. I'm like, so how do you call that? Like
Exactly.
she just wants to keep it for herself. So it's just a weird position to be in. But I personally, I don't know. I was younger back then, but now I don't know.
So anyways, guys, thank you so much for actually, tuning in and listening to this episode. And if you have any topics, because Denise and I, we can have conversation for hours about anything. And sometimes we get stuck in our own perspectives. And so please we would like to receive your input, put it out, in our comments.
free.
Like we said, we're on Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher. Join us there and drop us some comments. And we're also on Instagram. So please, just, let us know. Connect with us.
Show us some love, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
Please stay tuned because our next episode is going to be about...
It's gonna be about dating a friend's ex.
Yes.
Stay tuned, guys.
I mean, Christmas is going to be hot. All right. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us.